off in the distance, the lightning in the sky looks like there's a full on like battle happening down my road, but there's also no sound. It's the eeriest combo in the world.
It's like the signs of being a true nerd. It's like when you see
Yeah.
lightning, like with like no lightning bolts, flashes of light. You're like, that's obviously a high-powered battle going on.
Yup.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying.
I was like, dude, aliens are finally invading. It's also kind of fun that the government has been releasing more and more things of being like, yeah, we're definitely not like alone out there. And everyone's just kind of like, eh. Okay.
Um, yeah, it's a little weird. People wanting Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama. Why can't I?
Mbinyama.
Usually good at saying his name, but Victor Wembanyama. People wanting him to fail and like saying like I told you so after that first game. It's like, look, obviously they had a game plan. If you're not, don't force nothing.
Right.
It looks like you're forcing anything. We're gonna pull you out the game. You never play in the summer league again.
Yep. Yeah, and like I don't, it's yeah, it is weird just kind of see the amount of like opposition he's receiving. Because I mean, he's an overall good player. Is he scrawny? Yeah, like, but that's gonna happen sometimes. Like, I don't know what to tell you. KD is scrawny, and he's still one of the better players in the NBA. And
you know who he looks like, right? It's Kevin Durant.
yeah.
So,
And also now I saw something today. Speaking of Kevin, where somebody said Kevin Durant has now become one of the most hated players in the NBA, and I was like, since when? But Kevin Durant responded in the best way possible. He's like, I mean, if that's what's going to get you interested in the NBA, great. Hate me all you want.
I mean, that's not even true because like he can't be more hated than he was when he was sensitive because he's no longer sensitive. He doesn't have the burner accounts. He talks shit online because he's bored.
Yep.
Is it petty? Yes, but it's not sensitive anymore because he's not hiding behind the burner account, in my opinion. That's just
Yeah, and
so.
I think Kevin Durant leaving San Francisco, leaving the Warriors. I think that was very much the moment he was just like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm not going to put my effort into these people that I'm never really going to interact with ever again. And they also don't know me. They don't know a lot of things. They're just expressing their opinions. And it's like, they're never going to stop.
Well, see, me, I actually think the opposite.
Yeah.
The moment he didn't care was going to Phoenix. I think one of the most he cared was when he left San Francisco. Because I'm like, why would you leave there unless you're trying to prove a point? Like that's guaranteed chips.
True.
Guaranteed chips with you on that team. Even with injuries, they would resign. Like it.
Right. I mean, you more or less made Klay Thompson an unnecessary part of that team.
Well, yeah, he did that. He made well, Steph Curry made himself not unnecessary, but he went to a different role where he was the leading scorer, and it was just it was just a cakewalk. I mean, even after people figured him out, it was still hard to stop Kevin Durant. And then,
oh yeah,
in the playoffs, we got to deal with Steph Curry for real.
Like, right. Again, like the peak of his shot is almost over like 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
and it's hard for any player to truly block his vision. So he almost has a clear view of the basket anytime he's like shooting the ball, as long as somebody isn't like straight up in his face.
You know who we used to talk about, like Jokic, is Kevin Durant. Like, there's just nothing we can do to stop him. Like, what is this? Like,
Yep.
Just he can't you can't stop his shot. No matter how much your hand is in his face, he's gonna shoot it like a foot over you. He
Yep.
he wasn't the first one, but Dirk Nowitzki was another one. But
Yeah.
like these guys exist, and Kevin Durant was one of them. He's the lethal, like he's the lethal shooter. He's an assassin.
Yeah.
The Slim Reaper. All those kill you offensively analogies and metaphors they got to call him for a reason. But I mean, who cares? He's on Phoenix now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he can get himself a chip eventually. But I don't know. I don't think they got a lot of time.
No, and like because again, that Bradley Beal pickup, like we talked about, I not the worst thing they could have done, but it was also one of those things where I was like, I don't know if Bradley Beal's the solution. And then also Chris now being with the Warriors, I think that's great for the Warriors. I don't think it's going to fix anything.
We talked about it a little bit before, but I mean, I just don't think Bradley Beal. I love Bradley Beal personally, but I don't think he's the level of player people are thinking he's on. Like, they're acting like, first of all, this is prime Bradley Beal. Secondly, Bradley Beal only scores points.
Yeah, he's not like a distributor. Like, I guess he can be if he has to be, but it's not his main thing. His main thing is he always has to have the ball. And that is already what most of Phoenix is.
I mean, he's no Jimmy Butler.
No.
And that's like the pinnacle of, people not wanting to consider you a superstar. Will have the skills of a superstar, and especially in the playoffs. And Bradley Beal does not have playoff credentials.
Nope.
I'm sorry, I just don't understand what. I don't know. I don't know. I got to see it play out, but it doesn't. It doesn't seem.
Yeah, no, I'm not confident. Yeah,
Seem better than last year to me, honestly. But who knows? I'm an idiot.
we can't predict the future. There's been plenty of times on this show that we've had to be like, hey, guess what? We were wrong. But I mean, what can we do? We are doing what we can with the information that's been presented. And what if we're going by numbers? I mean, Bradley Beal isn't the number that I think is going to fix that team to make them the constant threat in the West that they want to be.
And that is one thing I want people to understand. I am not saying they're going to be bad. They are a constant threat in the West. Even before Kevin Durant, they were a constant threat. They lost. Who did they lose to? Was it Dallas?
Yes.
And the year before they lost to Dallas, and then they lost to Denver this year. Everybody lost to Denver this year.
But none of us saw that coming.
I mean, some did. I didn't call Denver winning the championship or going to the final.
And I wouldn't have. No, I wouldn't have.
But I didn't count them out. I was not a Jokic doubter. But yeah, I mean, they're always going to be a constant threat. Devin Booker is a monster. Like, as long as he's on the team, they're going to be a threat. That's what type of player he is on, and now Kevin Durant's there, and there's a serious threat. But like I don't see them beating Denver just because they got Bradley Beal. That is my
right.
Like, I don't see them beating. I don't know. Like, they may beat the Lakers, but that's hard to say. Like,
yeah,
the Grizzlies. They might lose to the Grizzlies. Like, who knows? I mean, Kyrie and Luka, they got a whole year to play together.
Yeah. And their whole placement in that West, they really should be the consistent number one thought, like you said, especially with Booker. But I think the biggest problem that they truly didn't address was DeAndre Ayton. Because, like, he's not meshing with that team the way he should be. He was predicted to be one of the most dangerous bigs coming into the NBA in a long time. And don't get me wrong, he's very talented. He knows how to shoot, and he knows how to like use the length of his body to his advantage to be able to float to a basket. But he's also not a big man that's going to, at least from what I've seen recently, I don't know if it's like coaching that's telling him not to do it or if he's just not good at it. He's not a consistent, like, down in the paint, like, fight for the ball guy because he tries to sit out in the arc too much. And that's not what they need. That's exactly what they were missing. They were missing a big man that's going to be in the paint, getting them the rebounds that are going to be crucial to them, making it to this very important point in all of their careers.
I mean, I heard once upon a time that DeAndre Ayton is afraid to hurt people. So, like, getting the ball, him being that size with those elbows, he's afraid to hurt people.
Yeah, it's like, bro.
I don't know how true it was. I mean, it was just something I heard on a podcast from a player in the NBA that wasn't like his friend and stuff like that. But
Right.
he's just, I mean, I can see it. But also he's young. So I thought it was a bad idea for them to keep him as well and not try to trade him. But he's young as shit. Like, he's just a little young. He's a young man. Like, very
right. He has time to learn and adjust, but like right now, he's just not what that team needs to win. Like, imagine if they had Draymond Green, like a Draymond Green from before COVID, like before the bubble, like a true defensive player that he scored no points, but he had like what 20 blocks in a game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Draymond Green believer. Like, they didn't do anything this year. All they
Oh
did,
yeah,
all they did was beat Sacramento, and all he did was sacrifice them some games. Like, maybe they could have beat Sacramento
by picking fights and yep.
He could have beat them earlier. Who knows? But now, like, it went down like it did. Jordan Poole's gone, and you got Chris
Paul.
For some reason, I am not sure.
Yeah, like you made a very dumb move with the Wizards because they got Chris Paul. And I think Chris Paul to the Wizards would have made way more sense in the long run. And like, not that they could have like, I mean, they would have had to present a lot, but I mean, if you truly want like a different, like versatile player, hell, the Bulls have been thinking about trading Levine for years, but they just never really acted on it. So they just extend him. So you could have picked up a Levine-esque player, which would have been a cool thing to see with the Warriors.
That would have been insane. Like, everyone's shooting, and then you get Zach LaVine just flying through the air. Yeah, that would have been insane. I'm not sure why they did that, but who knows? I
don't know.
I don't think it could be interesting. I think it's a cool place for Chris Paul to be at.
That's going to give him his best chance at getting a ring. Yes, 100%.
I don't even think they really got that much of a chance of getting a ring anymore.
Oh, no, because I did see that they're one of the only teams in the league that doesn't have anyone over 6'9".
No.
And it's like, they're this. Yeah, they're like this. Like they're like considered one of the smallest teams in the NBA currently.
By the way, DeAndre Ayton is 24.
24. Dang. Yeah, I mean, he's got plenty of time. I guess we'll see what Phoenix can do. Hopefully, with the new coaching staff or head coach, they'll.
Kevon Looney is 6'9". Wow.
Yeah.
I thought he was like 6'10".
Nope.
Isn't that?
So again, the Warriors are now again the smallest team, one of the smaller teams in the NBA, and that's gonna hurt them, especially in the West with a Victor Wembanyama who is going to be a big threat for them.
Victor Wembanyama is not. He's got to prove himself to me during the season and in the beginning of the playoffs to consider himself a threat against Jokic, because there is no threat to Jokic.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, the only threat to Jokic is Dallas.
Embiid.
No, no. To be fair, it's
Pretty
not.
fair.
There's a small little bit of parity. You know, people learn. I'm convinced people will grow up. Um, Anthony Davis, yes, he's growing and he's aging, but some people hit a moment in their life when they realize like I ain't taking no shit no more. And there's nothing you can do against Anthony Davis if he like decides to play like one day.
Can you imagine?
There's not
That's true. That's very true.
you can do about that. Like he's just so better than anyone else. It's how Dwight Howard was, except like just kind of proportional.
Oh, did you see what Dwight said?
A little bit later.
Okay, we'll talk. Yeah, we can talk about that later. But
The Lakers as a possible threat, depending on how LeBron holds up and how the new team works out. You got Dallas, who I'm kind of interested in. I'm a little bit interested in Dallas. Kyrie ain't no. I mean, Kyrie is Kyrie. Come on now.
yeah, he's
If he decides to play ball for real, oof, him and Doncic will destroy people.
yep.
Phoenix. What if Zion decides to play for real? I mean, when he played, they were the number one team in the league. Like,
Oh, the Pelicans.
yeah, like
You said Phoenix. I got confused.
oh, I said Phoenix, and then I said Zion.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Zion and the Pelicans. If he decides, I didn't even. We already talked about Phoenix. So I didn't want to go back into.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if Zion decides to actually play and he's healthy and everything, what are we going to do against that? So it's also a wait and see league. The East,
Yeah.
the East always has parity. Yeah, the Bucks, the Sixers, Miami. Let's see what happens with Damian Lillard.
Yep, that's the only team he wants to play for. He said he will just not show up, or that's what people have said. He said.
Yeah.
Dame also said something along the lines of like, "It's funny how people can talk for you that don't even know you."
Look, Damian Lillard is not going from I am so loyal till the day I die type dude to I will not show up for practice.
Yeah.
I know he will not be happy, but if he goes to a team he doesn't want to be at, he doesn't know how to not play his best.
Right.
That's who he is.
He's always going to perform.
He's a real competitor. He's not like a lot of other people in the league. Let's just be honest about that. And the way it seems like it's looked like Portland's not going to play, ball with them. So they're prepared. If it takes months, it'll take months. I guess that's what they said.
Yep.
And that means Philly's still a possibility.
You know what? I mean, the Bucks could also be a possibility.
Whoa. Pipe down. You guys just chill out. Yeah.
I'm just saying, because like Chris Middleton fixed his contract to take less money for a reason. There's a reason they're trying to get rid of Grayson Allen and Connington.
He's not coming to Philly. We just signed Paul Reed for $23 million.
And you also have Maxey, who I think could be a very close comparison at some point in his career.
I'm not like everybody else. I don't want to see Maxey go. I like Damian Lillard, but I kind of like Maxey. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep him there. He loves Philly. Let's do that. Yeah, I mean the Damian Lillard saga continues. Miami. I hope he doesn't go to Miami. But if he does, I'm not sure how well they'll do. They look like they're about to ship out a lot of things, and they have already began doing some rearrangements. So, who knows? Tyler Hero does not believe he's going to be there. So, who knows?
Yep. Which, I mean, at the same time, that's not the biggest loss in the world.
Yeah, I mean, but I always tell people I'm not out on Tyler Hero myself.
Mm.
Maxi they are not terribly different. Like as comparison, they both are like 19 to 20 point scorers.
Mm-hmm.
And they both show up. I think Maxi has become. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Miami Heat games, so I'm not sure who's the better 3-point shooter. I believe Tyrese Maxey is, but I could be wrong.
Um,
But I do believe Tyrese Maxey is the better defender. So that's the only difference I believe they have.
Hmm.
I mean, would you go wrong with having Tyler Hero when you have Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo on your team? I mean, but also,
I mean, when you look at the playoffs, a little bit.
yeah, I mean, but like they went to the finals, so like we can't really say that. Like they went further than everybody else.
It's true. That's very true.
Without
But
Tyler Hero. Without Tyler Hero.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. I'm just not sold that Tyler Hero is like truly a player that will like make that difference. I have way more faith in Maxi than I do in Tyler Hero.
I do as well, but I try not to be a biased person. So sometimes I over argue.
I'll be biased. I'll be biased to this scenario.
Say it. Say it. Say it. See, Tyrese Maxey is the best point guard in the league. Say it. Say it now.
I mean, I don't know about best point guard in the league because Dame Dollar.
I mean, if they want to trade Maxey for him, well, it's not straight up. I know how it goes.
No. But yeah, the NBA is just a fun, weird machine, and it always will be.
You see how weak I was? I was like, I'm not being biased, and I just went to say,
You're like,
it's like, what the shit was that? That was fun. I like that. I've been playing.
Oh my god.
These.
Oh, what was that? Are they poker chips?
Nope.
Oh, Ninja Star? What in the? Oh,
Pogs.
yep. Just a stack of them.
My mother-in-law moved up here, so my wife found her pogs in the shed, or I found pogs in the shed. So
Now they're yours.
pogs.
You're like, what a flashback.
Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that's all we have for the NBA. It's not
Yep.
fun. I mean, there's just some free agency,
Yeah.
some stuff to keep us, keep the itch away.
Right. Yeah, the news will get more solidified during football season, which is sneaking up on us.
Happening right now is Shohei Ohtani being a unicorn.
A beast.
Yeah.
Just a beast. He's he's one of those MLB, like he's just an impressive athlete. To be able to adjust from being a pitcher mindset to like outfielder or wherever the hell else they feel like putting him. Like his ability just to like be such a universal player, it's hard to see that a lot of the time with like anybody else.
And then just being like such a great hitter as well.
Yep.
That's you don't see that a lot. I mean, you see that a lot in some of the great players. They usually tend like good hitters. Great players tend to hit well, and
Mhm.
will and stuff like that. It's the pitching. It's the pitching that's really
Yeah. Let me tell you. Let me tell you about pitch. So this past week, Tanae and I went on vacation down to Chicago to see some of her college friends and like her closest friends, and it was a great experience. Me like hanging out with everybody again. But two really cool things we did was we went to Stockton, Milwaukee to watch the Cubs and the Brewers play at American Family Insurance Field, which is really weird to say because I really want to call it Miller Park. It's Miller Park. I don't know, whatever. It's still Miller Park. So we went there, got to watch the Cubs play the Brewers. I'm clearly a Cubs fan, if you can't tell. And today is a Brewers fan, so we had a fun little little rivalry thing going on. And like watching like that up close and just kind of watching the pitching, the Brewers were whooping the Cubs for the first like 6-7 innings. And around like the seventh inning today, and I had to go ahead and hit the road because we had to get to Chicago by a decent time to be at her friend's place. And as we were leaving, we didn't know the Cubs made a comeback, and the Cubs ended up winning that game. And today made a post originally stating that the Brewers won the game, and her mom, thank you, Lynn, for pointing this out. It was like, did you leave early because the Cubs won that game?
That's funny. That's funny. That's always the tricky game you play when you leave a game early. Like,
Yep.
this one's over, and
And
it wouldn't happen to me. And then, of course, the moment one day you decide to text or post it and say something about it, yeah, you know.
yep. But man, watching the pitching in that game, especially for the Cubs, it was rough. Because don't get me wrong, the starter that we had has one of the better ERAs in the league currently, even though the Cubs themselves are sitting at the bottom of the NL Central. Or it's sad. But and just watching that game, like he was pitching great, and then as soon as like the fifth inning hit, you could tell he was getting tired, and he was just letting balls just sit dead square over the plate. And I'm like, damn it, man. it's man, the be able so basically getting back to like just Shoney being an amazing player, to be able to have that type of ability to be a pitcher alone is hard. Yeah. And you're still such an athlete that you don't really feel fatigued, and you're out playing other positions like a few days later. It's like, damn, man, good on you.
Well, I mean, I do need to watch more baseball, but I honestly don't have a lot of time. I've never really had a lot of time to watch any sports.
Right. Well, and a nice thing that's going on with baseball right now is they realize that they themselves are the MLB is one of the longer sporting seasons and games you can watch, because for a long time, just the overall batter walking up to the box, pitcher getting ready, it made the game last longer than it really should have, and it made a lot of people lose their attention. Totally understandable. I played baseball growing up, so it was always fun for me to like watch and play the game. So I've never really had an issue with how long it took. And I also play tennis, and tennis can go on for a long time sometimes too. But what the MLB is basically doing now is they have put up a pitcher time clock, more or less. So, and the time clock isn't necessarily strictly for the pitcher, it's for the batters as well. So basically, you'll notice it, like the pitchers basically get more or less 20 seconds to throw their pitch, and then it goes down by 5 seconds after the first pitch. So then they get 15 seconds to throw this pitch. The batters themselves cannot waste that time. They have to be in their batter box by 7. If they aren't in the batter's box by the count of 7, then that counts as a strike against the batter. So they're doing things like that to speed the game up and make it like way more interesting to people. Just because, again, before that, you could just sit there for the longest of times, just watching the pitcher and batter stare at each other, waiting for one of them to break. So yeah, it's nice to see the MLB making these changes. Like finally listening to people's like opinions and complaints about, hey, this game could be way cooler if it was longer. So
Yeah.
yeah, or shorter. Sorry.
I hear a lot of people were at first. A lot of the players were against the clock and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But for majority, most players were cool with it and they understood it. And they also, it wasn't just for the pitchers and for the players and stuff like that. It was for the fans as well because a lot of people, these games start at like 7 o'clock and they go on
Yep.
and then it's like 10:30, game still going on. 11:30, game still going on. It's like 12
Yep.
o'clock, and these people are leaving before the game is even over. So,
Yeah, like this is a Friday night that we went to the Brewers and Cubs game, and then we went to the White Sox and Cardinals game on Friday. And that was also a great experience, fun watching all of that. But like, yeah, man, like it finally watching baseball and seeing how it's been sped up, and it's fun to see. So it's definitely a sport to like think about getting into.
yeah, I mean, I want my son to play baseball, so I'm trying to get more into it myself. I want him to play soccer, baseball, and of course basketball. I want him to play whatever he wants, but you know, just like easy going sports.
Yeah, like baseball is going to be one of the cheaper sports that you can do as a parent. Like they'll definitely grow with their equipment, obviously, but the equipment should last a lot longer.
I mean, to be fair, the basketball is just because I like basketball and he already likes it. So. But
Yeah.
I mean, his sister plays soccer, so I thought great. They both play soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Family sport.
Oh, I played baseball when I was a little kid. I quit when I got in middle school, but baseball,
Yeah. I chose tennis over baseball growing up when I got to high school because they're during the same time of the year. And yeah, it was hard to give up baseball. Like, it was a fun sport to play. Just also, it was a relatively like chill sport to play because you're sitting like 30% of the time. So you're just like, you're either out there in the outfield doing your thing, playing defense, or you're in the batter's box or the dugout waiting for your turn to bat. So it's just like one of those games where it's like, yeah, you as a player, it's really nice because then you can give yourself a little bit of a mental reset, and that is always just like a great thing to have. But yeah, I miss it. I definitely miss playing it.
I mean, we love football in this house. We love football. I played a little bit of football growing up, not a lot. Um, I mean, if he wants to play football, he'll know what football is. But I'm not.
No.
I'm not putting a kid in football at this age. It's kind of not the best.
No.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody to each his own.
Yep.
My kid already hits his own head around, and so it's clumsy.
That
doesn't need to start playing football at an early age.
Yeah, kids do enough to rock their own brains at an early age. Why add that to it?
Bad man, trust me, he's gonna do a lot of things. He likes to go crystal and fight. That's his thing. He doesn't care. Earlier today, he was like talking crap to me and ran away and like face planted right into the stairs.
You're like,
into the stairs. I was like, ooh, help.
You were like, what were you saying? I forgot.
That's a good one. I'm saying they're different kids. What did Kevin Hart said? Kevin Hart say?
Oh,
like the private school kids. He's not private school, but the shelter. Now they can't take it. You gotta raise it. It's just it's like it's soft parenting stuff, and he's not a soft parenting kid. Also, wow.
No.
Oh man. So what else we got on there? What else we got on the clock? Oh,
Actually, yeah.
we saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, how was that? I haven't seen it yet.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. It was good.
Dope,
Very
dope, dope.
Again, I'm very bad at talking about movies without spoiling things, especially when you haven't seen it. So that's like all I'm going to say. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Through the information, like you already like explain a little bit how you feel without saying things. I'm going to say how I feel, and I'm going to say what I saw. So
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I did rewatch the first one just to get myself mentally prepared to see the new one, and I'm pumped because all the reviews that I saw, I didn't read too much into them. That they were like, yeah, this is a great movie. I was like, perfect. All I needed to know. I can't wait to see all the different versions of Spider-Man they roll with. I also heard there were two different versions out when they released it into theaters. I don't know how true that was. I'm very curious to see. Like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, man, like I can't wait to watch that. Um, I still haven't. I'm pumped for Guardians 3 because you said you watched that and and a lot of other people have made it sound so good. So I can't wait to watch that.
I will say, I love that movie. It was great. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I'll give that one 8, 7.5. There's a couple things. I mean, it was a great movie. It's some people could give it a 10 out of 10. A couple things that got me, but a little predictability. But it's a Marvel movie. These things are.
Yeah, of course that's gonna happen. A lot of people aren't like thrilled with the Phase 4 Marvel stuff, but you also have to realize there's still a writer's strike going on, so they're doing what they can. But I did watch the newest season 3 part 1 of The Witcher. Um, compared to the other seasons, this is definitely probably one of the weaker ones for me. It's still one of the like I still enjoy it, but you can kind of tell the feeling on the set has changed because they know this is their last time working with Henry. So you could kind of like almost feel people working through like the disappointment because it could be something amazing, and who knows what it could end up being now that Henry's leaving and they have Liam Hemsworth coming in as the new Geralt. So still watch it. Still, you still get all the great like monster animations, and there's still some great fighting. But you get that feeling just from some of the acting that they're like, oh,
All right. Well,
yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we hit our time. I think we kind of like nailed that one. Thanks for tuning in, guys, for episode 1, season 3 of the NERDCAST podcast. We will see
Yeah.
you guys next time.
Cheers, everybody.
Peace.